Have you ever noticed how the moment you stop chasing, she suddenly starts noticing you? How disappearing makes her heart beat faster and her mind can't stop thinking about you? That's not luck, that's the invisible power of absence. When you stop chasing, something magical happens. You step out of the cycle of constant pursuit, and suddenly you're no longer just another option. You become someone she can't ignore. Most people think they need to push harder, call more, or text constantly to keep her interested, but the opposite is true. By stepping back, by letting your life breathe, you create space for her to see your true value. Absence gives her room to reflect on what she's missing, and that reflection naturally builds emotional attraction. She starts to wonder why you're no longer so available, and that curiosity sparks desire that no amount of chasing could ever create. It's not about playing games or being manipulative, it's about understanding human psychology. People crave what they can't fully control. When you're always present, always chasing, always available, your value gets diluted. You become predictable, and predictability kills desire. But when you take a step back, when you focus on your own growth, your own passions, and your own happiness, you radiate confidence, and confidence is magnetic. She can sense it, even if she doesn't consciously realize why she's drawn to you. The truth is, stepping back also teaches you something powerful. It builds your independence. You're no longer attached to her reactions, no longer dependent on her validation. That emotional freedom is not only attractive but necessary for healthy relationships. When you live your life fully, she sees a man who is self-assured, mysterious, and in control of his own destiny. And that control, that calm detachment, creates an invisible pull that's stronger than any words or gestures could ever achieve. Absence also amplifies her emotions. Humans tend to undervalue what's always present. By stepping away, you're giving her a chance to miss you, to feel the void that only you can fill. That subtle emotional tug triggers her subconscious desire, the kind of desire that can't be manufactured by constant texting or chasing. It's silent, but it's powerful. So, the next time you feel the urge to chase, remember this: stepping back is not rejection, it's strategic self respect. It's about letting her realize your value without you having to constantly prove it. She will notice, she will reflect, and in that reflection, attraction grows deeper, stronger, and far more lasting than anything you could force. Disappearing isn't about hiding, it's about showing the best version of yourself by simply living it. And when she finally notices, you'll know the difference. There's a hidden side to attraction that most people never understand. The subtle, almost invisible triggers that make someone crave what they can't fully control. This isn't manipulation in the cruel sense, it's understanding human desire at a deeper level. When you approach relationships from a place of calm confidence and detachment, you tap into these natural psychological patterns without even trying. People are wired to want what feels slightly out of reach, and when you combine that with emotional stability and self respect, the effect can be profound. When you stop chasing, you're not just creating space physically, you're creating it emotionally. She starts to notice the difference in your energy. Your calm, composed presence contrasts with the uncertainty and neediness she's used to from others, and that contrast triggers something deep in her subconscious. Suddenly, she starts to wonder about you, to think about you at unexpected moments, to feel the pull of your absence. That's the essence of dark psychology and attraction, the silent, invisible pull that draws someone toward you without words or actions demanding it. It's important to understand that this isn't about games or tricks. It's about cultivating a magnetic energy that naturally sparks desire. When you are detached, grounded, and emotionally secure, you communicate value without saying a word. That detachment is mysterious, and mystery is irresistible. It forces her to confront her own feelings, to evaluate what she truly wants, and to recognize the unique qualities in you that she may have overlooked. Desire grows in the gaps, in the moments when she doesn't have full access to you, and that craving is far more intense than anything created by constant attention or pursuit. The way you carry yourself also matters. Emotional control and self assuredness act as invisible signals of value. People are naturally drawn to confidence because it signals stability, reliability, and security. But when that confidence is paired with subtle detachment, it creates a tension that keeps her thinking about you, keeps her guessing, and keeps her desire alive. It's a fine balance, and it requires awareness, self discipline, and understanding of human psychology. The key takeaway here is that desire cannot be forced. It grows silently, organically, and often in ways that are not immediately visible. By stepping back, by maintaining your independence, and by allowing her space to experience your value, you trigger those deep emotional mechanisms. She begins to associate you with calm strength, with confidence, and with something she can't quite define. And that undefined quality is what makes desire magnetic and unforgettable. The subtle art of creating attraction lies in understanding these principles and applying them naturally in your daily life. When done right, you're not chasing, you're not begging, you're simply being the best version of yourself, and desire follows as a natural consequence. Understanding this hidden psychology transforms not only the way she sees you, but the way you see yourself, creating relationships that are deeper, more balanced, and far more powerful. The moment you stop chasing, something shifts not just in her perception of you, but in how you see yourself. Most people think that the way to keep someone interested is to pursue relentlessly, to text constantly, to prove themselves over and over. But the truth is, chasing rarely creates attraction, it creates dependence, predictability, and ironically, emotional distance. When you stop chasing, you stop giving her the power to define your value. Instead, you reclaim it. You start living your life fully, focusing on your passions, your goals, and your growth. And that is what makes you magnetic. Living your life is not about ignoring her or being cold, it's about prioritizing yourself. When you invest in your career, your hobbies, your friendships, and your personal development, you radiate confidence and independence. People are drawn to energy that is vibrant, purposeful, and alive. And when she sees that you're not waiting for her attention to define your happiness, she can't help but notice the shift. That subtle change in your energy, calm, centered, and self assured, speaks louder than any words ever could. Chasing often comes from fear of rejection, fear of being alone, fear of losing her. But when you stop letting fear dictate your actions, you take control. You become the man who is grounded, composed, and comfortable in his own skin. This emotional stability is magnetic because it signals value and security. She begins to realize that you are not just someone who can be taken for granted, you are someone who lives intentionally, and that kind of energy is rare and irresistible. The beauty of this approach is that it naturally creates a sense of respect and attraction. When you stop chasing, she starts chasing not because you forced her, but because your presence now carries weight. Your life becomes a standard. An example of someone who is independent yet emotionally available, confident yet compassionate. This is the energy that draws people in. It's not about drama or manipulation. It's about living authentically and allowing her to see the real you, fully realized and unapologetically engaged with your own world. Another critical aspect is patience. Attraction doesn't happen overnight, and true connection grows in the space created by independence. By focusing on your life, you cultivate experiences, stories, and growth that make you more interesting and more desirable. She notices the difference in your energy, and that difference creates curiosity, longing, and ultimately emotional investment. The key is to live fully, not partially, not half heartedly, and not in anticipation of her reaction. When you do this, you're no longer chasing validation, you're creating an environment where mutual attraction can flourish naturally. Life becomes richer, relationships become deeper, and the pull you create is powerful, silent, and lasting. Focus on yourself first, and everything else falls into place naturally. One of the most powerful force in attraction is what can be called the emotional mirror effect. People unconsciously mirror the energy, confidence, and emotional state of those around them. And in relationships, this effect can be transformative. When you remain calm, composed, and emotionally independent, you reflect back to her a sense of stability and value that she may not even realize she's seeking. She starts to see the qualities in herself that she's drawn to, and in doing so, she begins to evaluate her feelings for you on a deeper, more subconscious level. When you're emotionally grounded and detached, you are essentially holding up a mirror to her emotions. If she's feeling uncertainty, insecurity, or even regret, your presence allows her to confront those emotions without pressure. She notices how secure and confident you are, and that contrast can trigger reflection, longing, and desire. This is why detachment is not a cold or distant strategy. It's a subtle, natural way to allow her to see herself and her feelings more clearly. The mirror effect also works in moments when you choose not to react impulsively. If she tests you with games, jealousy, or attention seeking behavior, Your ability to remain composed shows her that her actions don't control your emotional state. She mirrors that calm energy back, often realizing that the tension or drama she may have expected is replaced with stability and self assuredness. This, in turn, can create a magnetic pull that makes her want to reconnect, to understand, and to engage on a more meaningful level. Another important element of this effect is timing. By stepping back or disappearing for a while, you amplify the mirror. Absence allows her to reflect on her own behavior, on the moments she may have taken for granted, and on the emotional connection she feels with you. She begins to see the unique qualities you bring into her life, your confidence, your independence, your calm presence. And that realization often creates a powerful sense of longing that no words or chasing could achieve. It's also about consistency. The more you consistently demonstrate emotional stability, the stronger the mirror becomes. People are drawn to reliability because it signals value, maturity, and self respect. By holding your energy steady, you allow her to match it subconsciously, drawing her closer while keeping your own emotional power intact. The mirror effect is silent but undeniable. It works behind the scenes to create desire, respect, and deep attraction. Ultimately, the emotional mirror effect is about reflecting your best self and allowing her to reflect her own feelings back to you. It's not about manipulation, it's about creating an environment where emotional clarity and attraction can grow naturally. When she starts seeing herself in your calm, confident energy, she can't help but recognize the value of what you bring to her life. And that recognition is far more powerful than anything you could ever say. Reflection draws desire, and desire follows understanding. There is a magnetic quality and mystery that few people truly understand. When you cultivate an aura of independence and subtle unpredictability, you create a powerful, invisible pull that draws her in without words. Mystery isn't about hiding who you are, it's about revealing yourself selectively in a way that keeps her curious and engaged. Most people give everything away too quickly, every thought, every feeling, every plan, and in doing so, they eliminate intrigue. When you keep some aspects of yourself private, when you live fully in your own world, you naturally become fascinating, compelling, and irresistible. The invisible pull of mystery works because human beings are wired to seek understanding and closure. When something or someone feels just out of reach, it triggers curiosity, imagination, desire. By maintaining a degree of unpredictability in your life, your actions, and your presence, you create an internal tension in her mind. She begins to think about you more often, replaying memories, wondering what you're doing, and imagining the possibilities. That mental and emotional engagement is far stronger than anything created through constant texting or chasing because it originates within her subconscious. Mystery is amplified by confidence and calm detachment. When you carry yourself with self assuredness, she notices that you are fully in control of your own life. You are not acting to please her, to seek validation. You are living intentionally, pursuing your goals, and enjoying your passions. This independence signals value and stability, and it's irresistibly attractive. It also gives her the space to reflect on her own emotions and desires, which can intensify longing and attraction. Another aspect of mystery is timing. By not being constantly available, by having your own schedule, your own priorities, and your own rhythm, you allow her mind to fill in the gaps. She begins to imagine your life, your personality, and your intentions, often idealizing you in ways that create deep emotional investment. The invisible pull of mystery is subtle, but it's effective because it engages her imagination and emotions simultaneously, forming a connection that feels both thrilling and irresistible. It's also important to note that mystery must be authentic. It's not about pretending to be someone you're not or creating artificial drama. The most magnetic people are those who live with integrity, pursue their passions, and express themselves selectively. Authentic mystery feels natural, effortless, and attractive while still leaving her curious and emotionally engaged. Ultimately, the invisible pull of mystery works hand in hand with confidence, detachment, and presence. It creates desire without effort, attraction without chasing, and emotional engagement without neediness. When you master this, you are no longer trying to hold her attention. You are allowing her to be drawn to you naturally, captivated by your energy, intrigued by your life, and connected to the value you bring into her world. Curiosity and desire grow silently, but their effect is undeniable. There comes a moment in many relationships when she may return after distance, absence, or emotional reflection. How you respond in this moment is crucial because it serves as the ultimate test of your value. It's easy to fall into old patterns, to chase, to seek approval, or to overcompensate for the time apart. But the key is maintaining your boundaries, confidence, and sense of self. Your reaction now communicates more than words ever could. It signals whether you are someone of consistent value or someone easily swayed by her attention. When she comes back, she may be experiencing regret, curiosity, or renewed attraction, but it's up to you to demonstrate that your self worth is independent of her actions. This is not about arrogance or indifference. It's about self respect and emotional intelligence. By showing calm confidence, you set the standard for how she interacts with you. She begins to see that you are not a prize to be won, but a man who knows his own worth and will not compromise it for temporary validation. This subtle demonstration of value can spark deeper respect, desire, and long term attraction. At the same time, how you engage should be measured and intentional. Respond with interest, but avoid overenthusiasm or needy behavior. Ask yourself whether her return aligns with your own priorities and whether her intentions match the level of connection you expect. This approach reflects maturity and discernment, qualities that are deeply attractive because they signal that you are a man who operates from clarity, not emotion driven impulses. Emotional clarity communicates strength and signals that your time and energy are precious, and that sets you apart from the majority who chase desperately without thought. The test of value also lies in your consistency. It's not a single interaction that defines your worth, it's the accumulation of how you live, how you carry yourself, and how you respond under various circumstances. Maintaining emotional stability, calm detachment, and self assurance reinforces the pull she feels. She begins to realize that the value she sees in you is not conditional, it is an intrinsic part of who you are. That realization is far more compelling than words, gifts, or promises ever could be. It's essential to remember that her return is not a guarantee, nor is it a ticket to control or manipulate. It is simply an opportunity to demonstrate your highest value, to reinforce the attraction that absence, detachment, and authentic living have already created. How you navigate this moment determines whether the connection can evolve into a healthy, balanced relationship or whether it remains superficial and fleeting. Ultimately, when she comes back, your actions are the silent testament to your worth. By maintaining your integrity, independence, and emotional strength, you create the space for a relationship built on genuine respect, attraction, and mutual desire. She will notice, she will respond, and the connection will deepen, but only if you remain true to the standard you have set for yourself. Value is proven not in pursuit, but in presence.